Up in the presidential box, John Kennedy looked over his shoulder at writer Gene Shore and said, "Jesus Christ, look at that dress." Shore noticed that the president was staring at every move. "What an ass," Gene Kennedy said. "What an ass." Sitting next to him, Bobby betrayed no trace of emotion. Bobby was just horrified about this because he knew. Shore noticed that the president was, oh, I already said that. Just behind the president in the director's control booth, Richard Adler took a long look at the transparent dress. "It was everything I feared," he said. Just before showtime, he had received a last-minute flurry of calls protesting Monroe's appearance. Some came from cabinet members, one from a senior member of the president's White House staff, and some from the highest levels of the Pentagon. As she began the first husky chorus, Monroe seemed energized, perhaps from the amphetamines prescribed by studio doctors. Robert Slatzer remembered that she was also pumped up with megavitamins and antibiotics. "The effect was just hair-rising. It was so beautiful," said Ralph Roberts, who saw the performance from the VIP box. "You couldn't hear yourself think for the screaming and yelling." It was like a mass seduction, Adler recalled, with Marilyn whispering "Happy Birthday" and the crowd yelling and screaming for her. "I realized then that the president was a better showman than I was." Monroe later told Life magazine that the approval of the crowd was like an embrace. "Then I thought, by God, I'll sing this song if it's the last thing I ever do. And I did it for all the people as well. I remember when I turned to the microphone, I looked all the way up into the stands and thought, that's where I'd be, way up there in those rafters." The actress also talked of trying to sing her way into every heart in Madison Square Garden, with the hope that her audience understood her sensual message. The dress and the occasion would etch themselves into the history of the Kennedy years, along with other film flashes of Camelot, JFK hatless at his inauguration, Jacqueline Kennedy's arrival in Paris, John John's salute to his father's coffin. Monroe's performance has been playing ever since. Anyway, I'll show you on YouTube here before we're done next day or so. It's incredible. Okay, moving on. Finally, on Saturday, August 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was scheduled to attend a party that was thrown by Peter Lawford. On Saturday, August 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was scheduled to attend a party thrown by Peter Lawford. Monroe never showed for the party, which created concern because she didn't miss many. Okay, so she's invited to this party on August 5th, 1962, thrown by Peter Lawford. Marilyn never showed for the party, created some concern. So they went looking for her. Unfortunately, she was found at her home of an apparent drug overdose, found dead at her home of an apparent drug overdose at the age of 36. So she was later found at her home dead of an apparent drug overdose at the age of 36. Now, many researchers and conspiracy theorists like to think that that was some sort of foul play, but foul play has never been proven. She was a very apparent drug user and abuser, had a lot of prescription drugs, and she was a depressed young lady most of the time. For as famous as she was and as much money as she had and those types of things, Marilyn Monroe was a very, very depressed individual, and what she did is she went home and took one too many pills and ended up dying. So, everybody, you know, the Kennedys completely divorced themselves from her. Of course, they don't want any scandal. Who's the person that comes through and comes back and makes sure that everything's taken care of and makes sure she has a proper funeral and all that stuff? Joe DiMaggio. Yeah, Joe DiMaggio, who hated the Kennedys. Hated them because he suspected that the president also was having an affair with his ex-wife. He hated the Kennedys, Joe DiMaggio, hated them. Okay, anybody have any questions on Marilyn Monroe? We are going to have Taryn walk down to the refrigerator and bring our cake. And Taryn, there's also, if you know where I set my desk here, look at my computer, if you look back, there's that kind of roundish bookcase I have. It has 3-ring binders. There should be a big long knife stuck between that and the wall. Walk with it pointing down, please. Okay? Also, what I want to do is I'll shut this off. We're going to go through the agenda while we're eating cake. How about that?